Have you ever experienced a past or a future? In this video, we're going to investigate the nature of time. We're going to directly investigate and see if time exists. This isn't a philosophical discussion. This isn't a metaphysical claim. This is a workshop. It's a way for you to directly investigate, look into your immediate experience right now and see if time exists. So let's start by looking at any memory. It can be a memory of something that happened 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, yesterday, 10 years ago. Notice the nature of that memory, the narrative, perhaps the images, if your mind makes images, the storyline. We might have an idea about when that was. Get the feel of it. How does it feel to regard that time or memory? Okay, great. Now, where did you go? Did you go somewhere? Or were you right here the whole time? So thinking about a different time, what we call the past, doesn't transport us there. Now, recognize the fact that anytime there's ever a thought about the past in the way we just investigated, you're never transported anywhere. You're always right here. Now, consider a thought about the future. Imagine what you're going to be doing 5 minutes from now. Imagine what you're going to be doing 20 minutes from now or tomorrow. Look at the images, the colors, the narrative, or just the descriptions in your mind or the feel of it. It might feel like something in your immediate experience shifted or changed, but did you leave your immediate experience? Did you leave right here? Now, take a few minutes to just remain here without thinking about a past or future. Notice the quality of what we'll call presence. What is it? What is it not? Well, one thing that it isn't is thought. It doesn't have that texture of those thoughts about past. It doesn't have the texture of those thoughts about future. There's nothing imagined here. There's no narrative that's necessary to maintain this, to uphold this. This isn't upheld. It's not produced in the way a thought would be produced, whether it's a past thought, a future thought. So this is unproduced. It's so simple. Requires no energy. Doesn't require imagination. Doesn't require convincing yourself you've gone somewhere, like a past or future. It's effortless. Have you ever left here? Have you ever left this? What would you reference to even answer that question? A memory. A thought about an apparent past. Do you see how that works? There can be thoughts about the past. There can be thoughts about the future. But you never actually ever experience them. You can't reach into the future, manipulate it, change it, experience it. You can't reach into the past, manipulate it, experience it, change it, interact with it. Because it's imagined, it's made up. So here you are, without a thought. What is time? Maybe time is just a very convenient distraction to avoid this. So you might ask yourself, why would I want to avoid this? Well, that's where it gets interesting. Why would we want to avoid this? There's a lot of talk about presence, mindfulness, etc. in our culture recently, which is great. But have you ever noticed that it's actually really hard to remain present or mindful for a long time? As if something is preventing it, or more accurately, something is dragging your attention into thoughts. So why? Why do we have to keep imagining time? Why are we addicted to time? What happens when we let go of that craving? What happens when we don't take the next hit of past or future? Well, nothing happens, really. And we're kind of addicted to some things, to content, to the drama of the mind and stories and pasts and futures. But do you see how weird that is when you realize it's not actually here? We're addicted to what's not actually here. We want a hit of not real. We want a hit of unreality. We need our fix. So where do you get that fix? There's only one place: thought. But as you can see here, you don't need to grab a thought. You don't need to grab onto the illusion of past, future. Find out what happens when you don't. At first, it can be rather peaceful, clear, simple, just like this. But as I mentioned, if you stay here long enough, it might get a little different. The body might respond. You might feel sensations. You might even feel some more intense sensations like fear. But if you stay here, let the sensations be what they are. They'll come and go, as sensations tend to. But if you still don't grab onto thoughts, still don't put yourself in time, or hypnotize yourself with the illusion of time, don't take the next hit, then the experience will deepen, or perhaps clarify. There's still nothing to do. And there's nowhere to do it. There's no past or future in which to do anything. So doing stops making sense. The idea of doing, control, even separation, distinctness between you and the world, between objects, these all require time, if you look closely enough. They require the illusion of time. They're built into, or the illusion of time is built into thoughts about them, thoughts about subject and object, about movement, action, control. So you're letting go of all of that, really, but it was all an illusion to begin with. So what are you really letting go of? It's so easy, so simple, so direct, you don't even have to let go. You never held on. Holding on and letting go are also time-based thoughts. So just remain here without questioning, without grasping anything, without thinking about who you were, who you are, who you're going to be. You never actually thought about that anyway. Those are just thoughts appearing. But it sure feels like they're your thoughts, or you're doing the thinking when you kind of grab those thoughts habitually. So what we're doing here is we're breaking the habituation, breaking the tendency. Just put the crack pipe of time down. Don't take another hit. When you set time down, you set a whole lot down. Judgment, doubt, confusion, control, resistance, struggle, suffering. You need time to suffer. You need the illusion of time and the illusion of control and the illusion of being out of control to suffer. Might feel bad letting go of control, but you're also letting go of feeling out of control. They're both interrelated illusions. But you don't have to believe me or adopt any belief I'm stating. Just notice what's here and what's not here. Mostly what's not here. This is your Sadhguru. It's your best teacher. It'll teach you everything you need to know about the absolute and the relative, and where absolute meets relative, and where absolute destroys relative, and relative destroys absolute. It's right here. And it's really simple. So, after listening to this, does it seem reasonably absurd to believe in the past? To believe in the future? If it still seems reasonable, just notice, only a thought can do that. It's like the past just completely disappears as long as there's no thought. And when there is a thought, it seems so real. Same with the future. It can seem so real when you're entertaining thoughts about the future. The moment the thoughts subside, you realize, of course there's no future. You can't even see the flow of time. That requires thoughts. Imagining things changing. Imagining fluctuation. Imagining evolution or de-evolution. Without all that, there's no flow of anything. Nothing can be said to be moving. Moving through, evolving, aging, changing, dying, being born. These are all time-bound illusions, or time-related illusions. The only binding really is the binding of what we take ourselves to be, the apparent identity binding itself into those thoughts about the past and future. The thoughts about past and future are a joke when there's no binding of identity anymore. They disappear pretty quickly, or they become very, very innocuous and obviously illusory. So it can be helpful once you're here, once you're recognizing the nature of presence and that there's very little, if anything, to do, and certainly nothing to do with time. See if you can find what it is that's here, regardless of time. What does it feel like? Does it feel like you? Look for it. See if it's there. Look for the self. Look for that which is aware. Look for the aware one. Look for awareness. Look for any of these without a concept. And now you know there's only one place to look. And it isn't in the past or future, and it's not into thought. So just let that looking go on, and it will take care of everything.